Hey, what's going on everyone, and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video we're going to be talking about the 4K on the Canon EOS M50, and we're going to try to see if it's actually something that's usable or something you should stay clear of. So the 4K on the Canon EOS M50 comes with some limitations, and a few of those being, firstly, the 2.56 crop that's on the 4K mode. Now, the Canon EOS M50 being an APS-C camera already comes with a 1.6 crop, and then if you add the 4K crop on top of that, it gives you a 2.56 crop. So for instance, if you're shooting on an 18mm lens, you're going to get the equivalent of 46mm in 4K mode on the Canon EOS M50. So secondly, the 4K on the Canon EOS M50 doesn't have Canon's popular dual pixel autofocus. It uses a weird contrast based sort of autofocus, and it's so unreliable, and I wouldn't even advise using it at all. And thirdly, when you're shooting in 4K, you only have the option of shooting in 24 frames per second or 25 frames per second, depending on if you're using NTSC or PAL. You're very limited when it comes to the choices you have with filming in 4K. So in this video, I'm going to talk to you about some of the ways you can kind of get past those limitations and actually get a very usable result out of the Canon EOS M50's 4K mode. So speaking of the crop factor, a very easy way to kind of overcome that is to shoot with an ultra wide lens. You can get something like the Tokina 11-16 or Canon's 10-18mm. Those type of lenses won't restrict you too much when it comes to handling the crop factor on the Canon M50 in 4K mode. So aside from using an ultra wide lens, one other thing you can actually do is to get yourself a speed booster, which will reduce the 4K crop by 0.71 times. Aside from that, another advantage of actually using a speed booster is you will get almost an extra stop of light. So that's something you want to bear in mind regarding this mode. Now onto the autofocus of the 4K mode on this camera. You don't want to use the contrast based detect autofocus that comes with the 4K mode. It's absolutely atrocious. It doesn't work well. It will only frustrate you 99% of the time. What I advise you to do is to shoot with manual focus. Learn how to use manual focus. It's really going to come in handy when shooting in 4K. Now another thing that you really want to do when it comes to the M50 is you want to enable focus speaking. Now when you're using manual focus speaking will allow you to nail your focus even better. Once you turn it on the camera, you'll be able to see a light pointing out to whereabouts you are in terms of focus, and that will come handy in a lot of situations. You absolutely want to enable focus speaking. It's going to help you out a bunch. Now another thing I recommend is to actually shoot with flat profiles. Personally, I like to use Technicolour's Cinestyle, which is something you can download for free. I'll leave a link down in the description below so you can get it for yourself. There are tons of videos on YouTube which will actually tell you how to install it onto your camera. It's a very easy process. It takes about 10 minutes total. It's really helpful because the Canon EOS M50 is not a camera that comes with C-Log, which is Canon's flat profile. So you kind of want to either use Cinestyle, or another thing you can do if you don't want to do that, you can actually use the neutral profile settings on your camera. Okay, so I hope I've shown you that the 4K on the Canon EOS M50 is actually something that's very usable and something you can take advantage of. I know a lot of people consider it to be some sort of gimmick feature that's been used as a selling point for the camera, but I think if you take advantage of these tips that I've given you, you can get really great results from the Canon M50 while shooting in 4K mode. Hope you guys have enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Peace. Thank you.